Welcome to the Dirt Court Jesters podcast, your home for dirt track racing across the country and right here in the Ohio Valley. This is Josh, and in episode 50 we have a dodgeball reference, sprint car tire talk, another racetrack for sale, and Andy King with the Dirt Track Truck Series joins the show. Hope you guys are ready to get dirty. This week in dirt racing history, we're going back to May 4th of 1996, when the All-Star Circuit of Champions visited Lincoln Speedway. Stevie Smith would get the win, Don Kreitz Jr. in second, and Kevin Goldbrecht would round out the podium.
Let me talk to you!
This week's talking points want to start by talking about a 10th and 2 DNFs not being enough for Cale Thomas in the 1A, and Cale Thomas is out of the ride. Scruffy, not a fan of cars getting torn up. Cale Thomas's replacement, Ashton Torgerson.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I'm just a fan. It's definitely not what I expected, but it's not my ride either. Suite dates are available at Circle City for the 2025 season. A private room with restroom and observation deck, amazing views of the racing action. Food and beverage options are available. Great for group, clients, teams, sponsors, parties, or just hosting with friends and family for a night at the track. Located in the pits overlooking the track. All dates are available as they just opened the schedule for booking. You can call 317-746-6928, or for more details, email Donna at circlecityraceway.com. Colt Farms Racing is taking its support of dirt late model racing in the World of Outlaws to the next level with the creation of the Colton Farm Racing Cup, designed as a 9-event championship contest hosted at premier events on the World of Outlaw Real American Beer Late Model Series Brother, presented by Dirt Vision. Scheduled, the Cup boasts a $10,000 purse to be awarded to the top 2 points earners. Points will be awarded to all featured drivers at each Coltman Farm Racing Cup race using the World of Outlaw point format. The driver with the most points at the end of the 20-plus race battle will be crowned champion, receiving the Colton Farm Racing Cup trophy and $7,500. The second highest point earner will receive $2,500. Buckeye Karting Series announces the Boss Pro Karting 206 senior class will feature a new payout structure for 2025. This season, the cash prize will be split between championship payouts and race day payouts. There are 4 rounds. Round 1's Thompson Kart Raceway, May 17th and 18th. Round 2, G&J Kartway, June 28th and 29th. Round 3, Fremont Raceway Park on July 26th and 27th. And Round 4, Wilmington Raceway Park, August 23rd and 24th. Recently, Sprint Car News posted sprint car tire pricing. American Racer right rears, $290. Hoosier right rears, $348. American Racer left rear, $275 to $283, while Hoosier is $348. And American Racer fronts, $195. Hoosier fronts, $264. I know teams are trying to save money, and this is one way to do it. It'll be interesting to see if it rolls into the sprint car scene. I know the Revival Dirt Late Model Series and East Alabama Motor Speedway are some of the places I saw that are going to allow Hoosier and American Racer tire options for the season. And I believe I saw some other tracks saying the same thing. So again, it'll be interesting to see if this actually rolls into the sprint car realm. And wrapping up the talking points, buy yourself a racetrack. All racing enthusiasts, the one and only West Virginia Motor Speedway, located at 1 Matheny Drive in Mineral Wells, West Virginia. This iconic racetrack with a rich history dating back to the late 1980s has seen some big names and big races in its history. There's been a recent renovation, and it is fully equipped to host thrilling events, from state-of-the-art LED lights to top-notch sound system. It'll give an experience to fans like no other. The racetrack's location along I-77 offers great visibility to passerbys, attracting even more racing enthusiasts to your events. That's not it. That's not all. This property expands over 65 acres, allowing for parking and camping as well. It's been on sale, I think, since the end of 2023, and I know then it was over $1 million. Now the cool price of $925,000, you too could have your own headache. Now let's go behind the rock screen.
You're welcome to come on in. We'll bring out the moonshine, start telling lies and calling up the women. But no talk about racing. Come on.
Hey everybody, Josh with the Dirt Court Jesters podcast, joined by Andy King, owner and promoter of the Dirt Track Truck Series. Mr. King, thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Right out of the gate, I want to ask, how did you get into dirt track racing?
I grew up in Lima, and Lima has a dirt track right there, and my uncles raced, so it was just something I've always been around.
And you yourself have raced, is that right?
Yeah, I ran. Me personally, I ran stock car for I think 10 years between Lima and Eldora. Ran them places for points weekly. And then I jumped around when we had places end of the season. We'd go to Montpelier or Waynesfield, just different places when we had time.
Okay. All right, and I know you race trucks some now, and you've got some trucks as well as I think that others race for you. Is that correct?
Yeah, I try. I might race once or twice a year now. I try not to run my own series. I guess I'm pretty busy with the behind the scenes stuff. I don't. It's too much to also race on race day to also be behind the wheel. So, but I've got other drivers racing some of the trucks that I do own.
Am I right? Did you get a win at 35 Raceway last year?
Yeah, I ran the first time in the truck and ran one race last year, one down there.
That's pretty good luck right there.
Yeah, some cards fell in my place right there at the end. I mean, I wasn't the fastest by any means, but a couple things went my way in the last 2 or 3 laps, and was able to make something happen.
Nice, very good. Well, all this comes about because I ran into you at the Race Cars and Future Stars Expo at the Pickwa Center, and you explained to me how you got the idea to start the Dirt Track Truck Series, and I thought it was a great idea. You know, you and I talked there for a little bit. So, for those people that don't know, when did you start this, and what made you think of it? How did it all come about?
This is our 5th year doing it. It kind of started with Waynesfield ran the truck class, and then they took I don't remember if they shut down and had a new promoter take over, so they was only running sprint cars for a few years. So the truck guys kind of had nowhere to go, and I had a couple trucks at the time, and I just had some connections with some other racetracks from my stock car days, and they allowed us to come in a couple times a year, and it kind of just grew from that. Just other tracks got to see us that had never seen us or maybe only heard about us. So that was fun. Plus the guys that had already been racing Waynesfield for 6 or 8 or 10 years had really never been anywhere else. So that was neat for them guys to go to Gas City or Montpelier or some places like that.
So when you got into the side of starting and running and promoting your own series, how much different was that for you compared to just hopping in the car and racing?
It's definitely different. You get to see a lot more behind the scenes stuff, especially talking to other tracks and their managers and their promoters and how shows run or how shows need to run, obviously for them to make money or just put out a good event. So that's a lot of things maybe just your everyday driver or fan don't know, or maybe worst case they think they know. I think we've all seen people talk on social media that you should do this or you should do that. Well, there's reasons why certain tracks have to make certain decisions at certain times, and so I've got to see some of that and understand why they need to do it.
Is there anything that in transitioning to that role of promoter that you thought was easier than it was going to be?
No, I don't. No, I don't think any of it's been easy. So, yeah, can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
I figured it would be a difficult transition, but like you said, it gives you an appreciation for what all goes on, like you said, behind the scenes for tracks and promoters and people running series, just how much work goes into that. So besides the points payouts that you have during the season for the Dirt Track Truck Series, you've got heat race payouts. Where did that idea come from, and how much do your drivers enjoy that?
I think I don't know where, maybe I just racing different places and seeing different things, and maybe I've seen some things posted in years past, even 30 years ago, that certain tracks did certain things, or so I made sure to get heat race points because not every track does that. And then just through the sponsorship money, I know a lot of people think, oh, just everybody thinks all the money should go to the winner all the time, especially like one big race or something like that. But I just found ways to maybe take all the money and spread it out kind of equally in different areas. So some of that fell into, we do heat race payouts, we do first, second, and third there, and then we have a couple events here and there during the year. Uh, like last year was our 75th series race, so we had quite a bit of money was brought in for that. Uh, I think it was $750 to win, and every driver got an additional $75 on top of their track pay. Just other things. We had like powder puff race and a dash for cash race, some things like that. So I just found ways to move money around so everybody gets a little bit of it.
Nice, very nice. Love hearing that. Your 2024 champion was Raleigh Hayter, who was dominant. He had 9 wins in 11 races, but second and third place were only separated by 30 points. Is there
Yeah.
anybody that is running the series that you see taking a step forward this season? Do you have any new drivers that are hopping on with your series in 2025?
I think our top 5 guys will probably still be there, top 5 area. Everybody's always looking at something to improve. I've been talking to a couple of those guys of what they maybe should try this year. Some of the guys I think are going to do quite a bit better, just more mid-pack guy. I think Dusty Ratliff will do quite a bit better this year, and Curtis Heisner. Um, they're stepping up their program a little bit more this year. We have, I think, 3 new guys this year, 3 or 4. I'm kind of losing track. It seems like they're all coming out of the woodwork here in the past 2 or 3 weeks. So I know some of them have other backgrounds in racing, whether it be like kart racing, or a couple guys are coming up from the like the front wheel drive classes. So it's hard to say how they'll adjust, especially how they'll adjust from that different type of racing, front wheel drive to rear wheel drive. So it'll be interesting. It'll be neat to see.
Yeah, good to see, and that's a good problem to have, losing track of how many guys have been added to your series going into the
Yeah.
next year. You had Limeland and Waynesfield. Those were the 2 tracks that you had on your schedule in 2024. What does 2025 look like? You have that scheduled ironed out?
Yeah, so far we have 11 races, same 2 there's been a lot of movement around. Obviously, Lima's kind of our priority right now. They took us on more full-time last year. They always used to let us run there maybe once or twice a year, but last year we became more of a full-time, not full-time, I guess. They run 12 races. They put us on for 5 or 6. But we're looking, they're talking, we're looking to be more there in the future. Waynesfield took a different direction this year with Larry stepping down, and then the folks from Fremont are going to take over there. So they only have 5 races total, but we are on 2 of them, 2 of their scheduled nights. So that's nice that we're still back there, because that's where the truck class originated. So they're keeping us there. We're adding 2 new tracks this year, 2 new to us, obviously. So we've got Millstream and Finley has us on for 2 nights, and then Atomic down there by Chillicothe, they brought us on for 2 nights this year. So that'll be neat too. Like I said, that's what's kind of nice moving around with this class. Of people get to go places they never been, and it kind of showed maybe different drivers will shine in different spotlights, I guess, with different track sizes or configurations.
Sure. And you guys are getting really north and south. I mean, and everything in between. You're touching in different spots there in Ohio. And that's got to be good for the series to kind of to spread out and get your name out
Yeah.
there for folks
Some of
that may
the
not be familiar.
yeah, some of the people have been with the series for the whole time this 5 year. I think we've ran, I lost track. I want to say 12 tracks in Ohio we've ran over the past 5 years. So we've done quite a bit of traveling.
Very, very nice. Do you know when you guys are going to run Millstream, are you going to run the big track or the small track?
We're set up to run their small track.
Okay. That should be a very good race.
Yeah.
Besides the tracks that you just mentioned that you've added to the schedule for 2025, do you have anything else new going on in the series in 2025?
No, nothing really different new this year. Um, I think just having some of the newer drivers in this year is what's going to be really, I guess, something to watch for.
Sure, sure. Ton of help. Like you said, there's a lot of work behind the scenes on your part, not just running it when it's race day, but getting with the sponsors and getting their name out there. I know you guys have a Facebook page. Do you have any other social media for the Dirt Track Truck Series?
No, just everything's through our Facebook page. I obviously right now it gets kind of slow, so I usually and in the off season I post about once a week, especially doing like a recap of last year's top 10 in points, and then here this next month I'll be spotlighting all the sponsors, especially when they all start coming back on board or new ones, or so I'll highlight them during the weeks, and then obviously and then during race season. Uh, I post everything usually Sunday night or Monday, like the follow a couple days after racing. I'm kind of one of them firm believers. I don't like people that post stuff right away. I know social media is a big thing now, obviously, and it kind of hurts. It hurts and helps racetracks, but it seems like everybody
Sure.
wants you to either go live or they want the results right now. And I like the idea that if you want to know, you should just buy a ticket. So
Sure.
I post all the heat race videos and features and stuff, but like I said, I usually wait a couple days before I do that.
I noticed you guys run the King of the Quarter Mile. Is that something you'll be? I know you talked about getting in more with Lima Land. Is that something that you guys are going to continue to be a part of?
Yeah, they allowed us in that last year, even though we only ran half the season there, but they do it based on our points for our series. So it's not just based on 5 or 6 races, it's based on our series total. So I work with them and let them know by that date who's the top 20 in points, and then that's the top 20. That's what qualifies you for, well, that final night of racing at Lima. And then the King of the Quarter Mile is anyone that's won a feature that during that year. So it doesn't even have to be a feature won at Lima. You could win at Millstream or Atomic or anywhere else and still qualify for that rate. And that's just in our series.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. I enjoy that King of the Quarter Mile that they do there at the end of the season at Lima, and that's cool that you guys have been able to be a part of that.
Yeah,
Powder
that was a
puff
big
stuff. You're doing that?
I'm not sure if that's
The
going to work
powder
out
puff
this
stuff?
year. We did that. That was usually
Okay.
kind of an end of the year thing at Waynesfield, and then we did it last year. So then with Waynesfield not being full time with us this year, I don't know. Maybe I can work it out somewhere else, but right now it's not on the schedule.
You started this series when it was really tough to get to the track in 2020, right? And
Yeah.
now here you are at 2025, and it seems like you're continuing to grow, and you gotta work it out with tracks. You've got some new tracks on the schedule for 2025. You got some new drivers coming in, and I'm sure you'll have some additional sponsorship heading in the right direction. And I don't think you can ask for anything better than that.
Yeah, seems to be so far things are working in our favor. Even when we find little hiccups or whatever with schedule changes from the tracks, we seem to still make it work somehow. So, and thanks to them for allowing us to be there. I think they like seeing us. It's something different for some of the fans. Not I think everybody knows what a race truck is, but not everybody gets to see them. I don't.
Sure. Yeah, no, definitely. I couldn't agree with you more. New drivers and a couple new tracks added to the schedule.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. keep moving forward and building what you've started.
Yeah.
Wrapping it up here, do you have sponsors that you'd like to thank?
Yeah. So our Advanced Machine Solutions, they're our primary sponsor. They cover just the points payouts and stuff. And then we have Justin Rapp, who's also a driver in the class. He is with Rapp Construction. He owns his own construction business. He's been big these past 2 years. Phil Hicks also races in the series. He's been with me since I was racing stock cars. So he's been not just with the series the whole time, but with me for probably, I don't know, 15 years, I guess. But yeah, he sponsors the series, Hicks Lawn Services out of Lima. We have Raleigh Hayter. His business is Mark Wahlberg Chevrolet. They like to kick in a lot of bonuses through the years. So they'll have, maybe we'll have a special night or something, and they'll throw a little money towards that. We have Brandon Daly. He's Bodies by Daly. He does his own race car bodies and stuff and parts distributor. Let's see, I know I'm probably missing something. We have Bach Promotional Products. They're out of Lima. They do a lot of the promotional products like T-shirts and tumblers and just little things that maybe you have a business where you want your names and stuff on. They do a lot of that kind of business. I know we got a lot of sponsors there. I know I'm probably just missing them, some of them.
Andy, I appreciate you jumping on with me. I don't want to take up any more of your time, but again, Andy King, owner and promoter of the Dirt Track Truck Series, thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you. Hopefully we see you, during the season and maybe talk some more. Maybe trackside next time.
Yes, sir. We can definitely work that out. I appreciate you coming on, and it won't be long. We'll be getting this nasty weather out of here, and we can all get to the track.
Yeah, we got about, I think somebody said yesterday, we got 25 days for a week kickoff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, places are trying, I know you're seeing this, places are trying to kick the gates open now. And especially in the Midwest, it seems like the weather hasn't been cooperative, but we're a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks away from a lot of tracks opening up. And like you said, a lot of series finally getting the 2025 season kicked off. And I know we're all itching to get to the track.
Yep.
All right, Mr. King, I appreciate you coming on. As always, want to give a shout out to Victory Fuel. From Purple Potion to Throttle Punch to Lucky Lemon, fueled by electrolytes, charged with vitamins, and kid-friendly. Fuel your victory at drinkvictory.com and use the code GESTURES10 at checkout to save. Drinkvictory.com and use the code GESTURES10 at checkout to save.
I drank a beer. I drank another beer. 3 beers. 4 beers. Oh no.
Race recap and racing to come as we wrap up episode number 50. A lot of weather playing a part in racing this past weekend. April 25th, Creek County Speedway had Power I-410s where Tanner Thorson would get the victory, Blake Hahn in second, and Jonathan Beeson in third. Brandon Anderson went from 20th to 6th in this one. Georgetown Speedway and the Melvin L. Joseph Memorial Lucas Oil late models. Devin Moran and Ricky Thornton Jr. with an awesome battle at the end. Ricky Thornton Jr. was just driving her as hard as he could, but it wasn't hard enough, and Devin Moran beats RTJ to the line and gets the checkered flag. Devin Moran with the win, Ricky Thornton Jr. in second, and Garrett Alberson from 12th to 3rd. In this one, Brandon Shepard went from 14th to 4th. I-96 in the GLSS Sprints, Max Stanball with the win, Jared Hortzman in second, and Dustin Daggett in third. Jacksonville Speedway with the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars and sold-out grandstands to see the Outlaws. And Young Money, Kyle Larson gets the win. Kyle Larson with the victory, Brady Bacon with a nice second, and Carson Macedo in third. April 26th, Adobe Mountain Speedway. We're going to go out west. We typically don't do that, but a coworker was running a midget out there, so I had to give him a shout out. Adobe Mountain Speedway and the Power Eye Southwest Ecotech Midgets. Dayton Shelton with the victory, Grant Schatt in second, and Sean Deskins in third. Shout out to Brian Klein from 16th to 11th. They missed qualifying in heat. I'm not sure if they had some mechanical issues, but advanced 5 spots in the feature, prepping for a possible chili bull ride there. Beaver Dam Raceway and the IRA, Jake Newman with the win, Travis Arnaz in second, and Blake Nemi in third. Max Guilford and Logan Julian in this race were both plus 12. Brownstown and some late models, Devin Gilpin with the victory, Kent Robinson in second, and Steve Peden in third. In the Pure Stocks, Blake Hull would get the win. Super Stocks, Isaiah Sasser with the victory. In the Hornets, Cordell Moore with the win. In Crown Vics, Ryan Woods would get the victory. Moving to Florence Speedway. In the late models, Joey Kramer with the victory. Sport Mods, Chase Moore wins. In the Crown Vics, Kyle Call with the victory. And in Hornets, Corbin Dalton with the win. Fremont and the All-Star Circuit of Champions, they're back on track for the first time since 2023. And Caleb Henry would go from 13th to the win. Caleb Henry with the victory. Cap Henry in second. And Zane DeVault from 17th to 3rd. Greg Wilson with a nice 5th place finish, and he was plus 9. The dirt trucks were also on hand, where Kent Brewer would win from 7th to the victory. Sean Valeni in second, and Bradley Stuckey in third. Hagerstown in the Concuchiga 50, I think. Lucas Oil late models, Ricky Thornton Jr. gets the win. Garrett Alberson in second, and Dalton Wilson in third. Moving to Hobstadt and the dirt track and rib racks fellas with the World of Outlaw sprint cars, Sheldon Hodenshield gets the win. Buddy Kofoid in second, and Tyler Courtney in third. Kokomo and the USAC Midgets, where they kick off their season, Jacob Denner gets the victory. Kanan McIntosh in second, and Dason Pursley in third. In the non-wing 410s, Kevin Thomas Jr. with the win. Robert Ballou in second, and Cale Drake in third. Knoxville and their weekly 410 show gets the season rolling. Man, you look at the lineup they're going to have there every week. That could be a touring series on its own. Unfortunately for those guys, this week's winner, the same as last week's, Rico Abreu gets the win. Aaron Reitzel in second, and Austin McCarroll in third. Muskegon County Speedway opening night and fast, Bryce Lucius with the victory. AJ Flick in second. In the Steel City Outlaw, Tim Schaefer from 16th to 3rd. In the Rush late models, Anthony Kincaid would get the win. Ben Easler in second, and Lincoln Smith in third. In the late models, Clint Keenan gets the win. Modifieds, Jess Hartman with the victory. Mod Lights, Jimmy Smith with the win. And the Hobby Stocks, Colton St. John would grab the checkered flag. Moving to the Talladega Short Track and the 3rd Annual Alabama Gang 100 with the World of Outlaw late models, Bobby Pierce with the win. Zach Mitchell in second, Jimmy Owens in third. USCS also there, and Dale Howard gets the victory. Derek Hagar in second, and Jaden Bowling in third. Tyler County and the Pat Herrick Memorial with the Ohio Valley late models, Donnie Dotson with the win. Pete Crum in second, and Steve Dotson in third. Corey Delancey would go from 16th to 4th in this one. And as we're recording this on April 27th, BAPS, they're going to have 410s and 358s as well as modifieds. Goods Raceway is supposed to run enduros. Kokomo and the second night with the USAC Midgets and non-wing 410 sprints. And Port Royal with the Lucas Oil late models. Moving to April 30th, Texarkana 67 Speedway with high limit. May 1st, Mississippi Thunder Speedway in the Dairyland Showdown with the World of Outlaw late models. Texas Motor Speedway is going to have Stockyard Stampede Night 1 with high limit. May 2nd, Attica and the American Ironman late models with 305s and trucks. Circle City with Lucas Oil late models. Eldora and the first night of Let's Race 2 with the World of Outlaw sprint cars and the USAC sprints. I-75 is going to have USCS. Kankakee County Speedway and the Pasek Memorial with the Mars Modifieds. Livonia Speedway and Hunt the Front. Limeland with GLSS, Modifieds, and Stocks. Moeller with late models mods. Sport Mods, Compacts, and Crown Vics. Ohio Valley Speedway with OVSCA, late models, mods, sport mods, 4 cylinders, and mini wedges. Ponderosa Speedway is going to have the Ohio Valley late models and 604 crate late models. Raceway 7's opening night, their Rush late models, mods. Sugar Creek Raceway and the Southern Nationals with late models. Sweet Springs Motorsports Complex with the Power Eye Midgets. Tri-City Raceway Park is going to have fast. On May 3rd, Atomic's going to have 410s, mods, sport mods, and mini trucks. Boot Hill Speedway with the Factory Stock Spring Nationals and $30,000 to win. Brownstown Speedway and the Scott Patman Memorial with super stocks and late models. Cherokee Speedway with Hunt the Front. Dixie Speedway and the Southern Nationals with the late models. Eldora and Let's Race 2 the final night with the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars and the USAC Sprints, Florence Speedway and the Lucas Oil Late Models, Fremont, and hopefully the beginning of the USAC Midwest Thunder Midgets season with the American Ironman Late Models and 305s. Goods Raceway is going to have United CC mods in 6 other divisions, I-75 with USCS, Michaels Mercer Raceway with fast 305 stocks and mini stocks, Mississippi Thunder Speedway and the Dairyland Showdown with the World of Outlaw Late Models. Montpelier is going to have non-wing 410 mods and stocks, Mudlick Valley with late models, SCDRA, $1,000 to win in 3 other divisions, Paducah in the Ultimate Heart of America late models, Red Hill and the Mars late models, Rock Castle Speedway, Ohio Valley late models, and 5 other divisions, Sweet Springs Motor Sports Complex and the Power Eye Midgets, Texas Motor Speedway and the Stockyard Stampede with High Limit, Tyler County Speedway and the Topless 50 with ULMS, the Topless 30 as well with UEMS mods, Wilmot Raceway and the Dick Colburn Classic with IRA Sprints. And on May 4th, the pavement hits at Winchester with the Rich Vogler Classic and the USAC Silver Crown.
Goodbye. Mwah! And good night, bad.
Thanks as always for listening to the Dirt Court Jesters podcast. Follow us on Spotify, X, Facebook, and YouTube. And we hope to see you guys at the track.